lights go out, green flag's waved, red flag will move, and we're almost underway for our last race of the day here in Portimao. The lights will come on, and then they'll go out, and it's Fermin Aldeguer who gets a great launch from pole position. Alonso Lopez tucks into the slipstream, gets a little bit of a wheelie on into the turn one. Is Alonso Lopez going to go for the whole shot? Yes, he is, up the inside. Alonso Lopez then takes the whole shot into turn one, and that's Lucas Tulovic, I think, coming up the inside of Aldeguer too. But is Aldeguer going to fight back into turn three? Yes, he is. So that's crucial, Lewis. Alonso Lopez takes the lead of the race early doors. Yeah, Tulovic didn't get the greatest launch off the second round. I was keeping an eye on him off the start line, but he just managed to get a great slingshot down into turn one and then got up the inside of his teammate Noradin and then managed to hold it. And as you say, Lopez straight away getting into the side of Aldeguer, not literally of course, but trying to throw him off his rhythm, and that opened up an opportunity briefly for Tulovic. Of course, he's now settled back into third, but it was very clear in the early stages of the race that Tulovic was able to match the pace that Lopez was setting, so he will certainly be eyeing up the back of Aldeguer at the moment. This is his chance. There's not been many opportunities for the likes of Tulovic this season to lay one on the nose of Fermin Aldeguer, but he might have a chance here. So that's exactly the start that Alonso Lopez was needing then. I didn't think he was close enough to dive at the inside at turn one, but he was brave on the brakes and made it stick, got the apex and got it sorted out. So Alonso Lopez then makes the start he wants, and yes, you're right in saying Lucas Tulovic did make a good start, but now he's just got to try and latch onto the back of Fermin Aldeguer and try and disrupt his rhythm before they can try and break clear. There's Sam Wilford there on the number 35 AGR machine. Looks like he's at least held station or just dropped back a couple of places maybe. P9 on the grid. He looks like he's around about there for the time being. So lap one completed then. It's Alonso Lopez leading Fermin Aldeguer. Fermin Aldeguer right up in the slipstream with his teammate though. Are we going to see him move down into turn one or down the straight? Alonso Lopez pulls to the right hand side. He goes defensive early doors. Who's going to lead into turn one? It's Alonso Lopez who leads onto lap two then from Fermin Aldeguer, and Lucas Tulovic is right there in P3. Kubo was getting very aggressive on the opening lap. We saw him trying to dive up the inside of Reto into turn 13, but he went wide and lost the position again. He's just gone wide again at turn 3, and he's on the outside. I think he's trying to make that move stick on the number 13, but he's struggling to get it done at the moment. Cardaluz has also lost out in the early stages. He's down to 7th, so the pace that he showed in the early stages, he's going to have a hard job to convert it into a result from there. But yeah, Kubo definitely getting aggressive in the early stages of the race, and Noradin's now starting to come under pressure as well. Rato, having seen off the challenge of Kubo, is now having a look at the back of the podium finisher from earlier on. Yeah, Noradin just losing touch on his teammate there slightly, who he overtook in the overall standings in race one. Was that Aldeguer going up the inside of Alonso Lopez? To have a move there. Surely not. I can't quite see. Of course, they're on the same machine. No, not quite. If they'd have made a move there, then I'd have been very, very surprised, because that's not normally somewhere we ever see overtaken coming down the hill, bottoming out and then going back up the hill. So it's still Alonso Lopez leading there. Lucas Tulovic just losing touch a little bit, I think, on this lap. Yeah, a tenth or two slower in sector 2 than the riders ahead of him. I'm not sure what happened. It was down the straight. I don't know what happened, but maybe Aldeguer made a little bit of mistake coming out of turn 4. Alonso Lopez then overtook him into, or just before turn 5. I thought Alonso Lopez had just ran a little bit wide into turn 5, but no, he holds it. So we've got a new race leader. It's Alonso Lopez back in the lead ahead of Fermin Aldeguer. So yeah, we've definitely got a race on here between the two speed up machines, the Boscoscuro machines now, we should say. And yeah, this is vital for the championship. If Alonso Lopez wants to start making inroads, finishing second is all well and good, but when you want to win a title, you've got to beat your rival, and finishing second to your rival every weekend isn't going to hand you the title. So yeah, this is vital for Lopez. Yeah, and we'll see if Lopez has now been able to sort of understand what Aldeguer did to him earlier on in the race at turn 1 and try and change his tactic. I mean, I wouldn't expect him to give Aldeguer the inside line this time, but I think he's got to be a bit careful of not trying to just win a battle on the brakes into turn 1, knowing full well that Aldeguer is just going to duck back underneath him, because there's so little room on the outside of turn 1. It's a pretty tight corner, so if he goes side by side through there, the guy on the inside is always going to come out ahead, but Aldeguer is looking to try and make sure that he's ahead before they even jump on the brakes for turn 1. Here we go. Lopez does stay ahead for the moment now, and crucially, he wasn't even able to brake on the inside. He was able to take the racing line into turn 1 and comfortably keep the lead. They dropped into the 146s that time round, which has allowed
to close in on them slightly. He's still 1.4 seconds off the lead. But at the moment, it looks like a straight fight between the two Boscoscuro teammates.
If it's at all possible for Lopez, he might want to try and just slow the pace down slightly, back Aldegea into Tulovic to try and take more championship points from Aldegea. Because obviously 30 points in the title race, if it finishes as we are, it'll be back down to 25 as we started the weekend. But it's not quite enough. If Alonso Lopez can get Tulovic into the fight, then that'll be good for his title chances. But of course, it's very much easier said than done. We saw it with Troy Bayliss and Colin Edwards in 2002, didn't we? At Imola, not quite sure we're going to see the same here, but I wonder what Alonso Lopez is thinking. I'm sure he's just thinking, right, I just need to go out and win no matter what happens. I'm sure
I'm curious as to what Aldegea is thinking as well, because we're going to see, if this goes deep into the race and they're still this close, we'll find out just how much Aldegea values this undefeated streak that he's got this season, because if he finishes second behind his teammate and only loses 5 points for the championship, it's not ideal, but it's not a bad result by any means. He's limited the damage with Alonso Lopez winning. But if Lopez is able to take a victory and Aldegea crashes trying to pass him, then of course that does suddenly close the championship down to 5 points as they go side by side once again. And Lopez again, very deliberately, hugging the pit wall down the main straight and forcing Aldegea a long way around, and able to break comfortably ahead.
8 laps to go then, negotiated turn 1. The two Boscoscuro machines locked together in a fantastic battle here in the final race of the day in Portimao. Yeah, Aldegea, I'm thinking as a 16-year-old riding Moto2 for the first season, he just wants to go out and win. He knows he can do it, so I'll be surprised. He's going to try and fight back. He does. He's later on the brakes. Gets it stopped, does he, down into turn 1, just about, but Aldegea then fights straight back. But is Alonso Lopez going to fight back into turn 3? Yes, he is. Parks it on the apex.
He has to. That's all he's got to do. He's got to overtake back straight away. He cannot let Aldegea get out front and get into his rhythm. Even if we are late in this race and the tyres will be worn out, if Aldegea gets some clear race track, you get the feeling he'll be off and away with it at the front. Lopez again, hard on the brakes, runs slightly wide, but he'll get it, he'll crank it back, get it over to that late apex for turn 5, so that's no problem. But that was crucial for Lopez. If Aldegea gets ahead of him, he literally has to overtake again at the very next corner. He cannot allow any space for Aldegea to get into a rhythm out front.
Aldegea then showing his hand slightly to Lopez. He didn't try or wasn't able to pass him. That's tight. There's contact at the bottom of the hill. Oh my word. Alonso Lopez
won't enjoy that. He's getting straight back on it. He's not having any of that. And that's not a place where you see people overtake. Unless you join me or Mark Marquez in qualifying, you don't overtake through there. But Aldegea, as you say, showing his hand. This is like the last lap. We've still got 4.5 to go here. But Lopez is signalling his intentions very, very clear for Aldegea. He is playing for keeps.
I think our questions have been answered about what Aldegea wants to do with this race. He wants to win it, but so does Alonso Lopez. We mentioned before that that's not really a passing manoeuvre. Aldegea disagrees. There was contact. Thankfully, none of the riders went down. That was almightily close then. 4 laps to go when they cross the line. Aldegea just gets shoved over to the right-hand side slightly. What's the gap over the line? 0.003 seconds. That's almightily close. Who's going to lead into turn 1? It's Alonso Lopez on the inside. On the brakes, Aldegea, is he going to switch back this time? No, he's not. As the team look on anxiously in the box, and understandably so, with 4 laps to go. Parks on the apex again does Alonso Lopez at turn 3.
What could be crucial here? I mean, I know it's not by much, as you can see, 3,000ths of a second, but I'm pretty sure at no stage in this race has Aldegea led over the line on Lopez. He's always got alongside him, but Lopez has generally got...
It's fascinating to watch.
It is, and Carvalho's again slightly faster. Not enough to close in. He's only a few hundredths faster on that lap around than the leader, which of course over the line was Aldegea, as Lopez again takes his very different line into turn 5 than his teammate. Carvalho's is going to run out of time, I think, to close that one in. But it's going to be fascinating to see how this one plays out between the two Boscoscuro teammates. Elsewhere, quick check on the Superstock 600 battle. You'll be not at all surprised to hear that once again it's been led by Alex Strigg. He's got 15 seconds in hand over Vostotech.
Oh, wow. Close again at the bottom of the hill, and Alonso Lopez has ran wide. Is he going to off the track? Yes, he is. Is he going to stay on? Hopefully he is. Yes, he is, but that... has now cost him the chance of race victory. Fermin Aldeguer aggressive up the inside at the bottom of the hill, the Craig Jones corner. I'll get my words out eventually at turn 9. And Aldeguer now, has he sealed victory with that move? At the bottom of the hill, I think he has, because the number 54 now leads from Xavi Cardelus. And how crucial is that in terms of the championship chase? Because Alonso Lopez, unless he puts a ferociously quick last lap together, is going to finish 3rd place or even worse.
That was a statement, wasn't it? That was a real flexing of the muscles from Aldeguer. That was a case of, I'm the number 1 in this team, teammate, get out of the way. And unfortunately, Lopez, he did his best. He didn't allow Aldeguer through, but I don't think there was anything wrong with it either. There was contact, but Aldeguer was fairly alongside. I mean, it was a corner that, as we mentioned before, you're not traditionally used to seeing overtaking moves, but he got fairly alongside, got up the inside of Alonso Lopez, and Lopez, to his credit, tried to hang on, but ultimately had to sit up and let him go through. And as you mentioned, it's cost Lopez 2nd place, so his run of P2s looks like it's going to come to an end. But what a crucial move that could be, not just for today, but for the championship. For Fermin Aldeguer, a 30-point lead, looks like it's about to become 39.
What a move from Aldeguer. I'm sure Race Direction will be having a quick look at it, see if they saw anything wrong with it, but I don't think they did. Who's that in the gravel? It's a Malaysian, I think it could be Adam Norridin, yeah. So no repeat podium for Norridin this time around, but it's Fermin Aldeguer then who leads on the last lap over the crest. This is where the potential race winning overtake was made. Up the inside on his teammate Alonso Lopez, rounds it safely into the final last handful of laps here in Portimao.
Body language between these two teammates will be fascinating at Parc Fermé, won't it?
It's going to be fiery in Parc Fermé. You're going to have fun interviewing Fermin Aldeguer in Parc Fermé, but 2 corners then left to negotiate for the championship leader. It looks like he's going to extend his lead to 9 points. I don't think Lopez is going to have anything to say about Xavi Cardelus finishing 2nd. That'll be Cardelus's best finish, but here we go then, round the final corner comes the championship leader Fermin Aldeguer. It's 2 wins from 2. It's 7 wins from 7 for Fermin Aldeguer in 2021. He wins race 2 here in Portimao. What a ride from Fermin Aldeguer. Cardelus picks up his best finish, and Alonso Lopez understandably frustrated with that. It was a harsh move down at turn 9, but he was alongside, and it was, I wouldn't call it quite clean because there was slight contact, but it was firm but fair from Aldeguer.
Absolutely firm but fair. He was along up the inside. He was level, you'd have to say, with Lopez as they made it to the apex, and unfortunately 2 into 1 wouldn't go. Lopez riding straight past his teammate. I didn't see any offer of congratulations there. I think he's understandably, even if he's not unhappy with his teammate, he's unhappy at having lost a win with a lap and a half to go. Shout out once again for Reto and Wilford, who matched their results from earlier on today, 5th and 6th, and Sam Wilford as well. Another step forward for him. Back-to-back top 6 finishes. Dimas Ekky taking 7th, which is a solid recovery from his crash earlier on today.
Okay, I thought it was going to replay of the turn 9 pass, but it was Aldeguer just holding his hands up saying, well, I'm not sure if he's saying sorry, maybe he was, but yeah, good to see there. High fives from the 2 teammates. I think that was a doff of the cap to Alonso Lopez from Fermin Aldeguer. A fantastic battle between the 2 teammates. Unfortunately for Lopez, he comes off 2nd best after that move. Was that Danny Holgado giving Fermin Aldeguer congratulations? I think it might have been. But yeah, 7 wins from 7. I don't think, if the research was done correctly, that anyone has done that in the Moto2 European Championship. 16-year-old Fermin Aldeguer really is creating history. Keep your eyes peeled on the number 54. He is going to be a Grand Prix star for sure. As I'm sure will Alonso Lopez. What a fantastic ride it was from the Spaniard. 3rd place in the end for Lopez.